The Berenstain Bears. Think of those in need. The Bear family enjoyed the good things in life as much as anyone else. They enjoyed the good food and good times. They enjoyed a snug treehouse and a comfortable chair before a crackling fire. They enjoyed books and music, toys and games, quilts and cuckoo clocks. But sometimes it seemed, especially to Mama, that perhaps the bears were enjoying too much of a good thing. It was also clear to Mama, as she managed the treehouse, that they had a problem that came under the heading of too much stuff. Too much stuff in the closets, too much stuff in the drawers, too much stuff in the basement, too much stuff in the attic. There was too much stuff everywhere. It all made Mama a little uneasy. It was beginning to be a worry. Papa thought there was too much stuff problem too, but he was more annoyed than worried. Annoyed about a fast wheel car that Brother had left on the stairs, and about a squeaky duck that Sister had left in the bathtub. But there was much more on Mama's mind than fast wheel cars and squeaky ducks. What was beginning to worry her was that they had so much, while others had so little. And as sometimes happens with worry, when you go to bed, it can turn into a nightmare. That's what happened to Mama. Too much stuff. Too much stuff. One night, she dreamed that all their stuff came to life and poured out of every drawer and closet, and nook and cranny in the treehouse, chanting, "Too much stuff." "What's the matter?" asked Papa when Mama woke up screaming. "It was just a dream, my dear," Mama said. But though it was just a dream, she knew what she had to do. The next morning at breakfast, she made an announcement. "This family," she said firmly, "has altogether too much stuff. It's time to get rid of some of it." "Stuff?" said Brother. "What sort of stuff?" "Stuff like dolls with no heads," Mama said. "Broken airplane models, old puzzles, games that nobody plays, and fast wheel cars on the stairs, and squeaky ducks in the bathtub," claimed Papa. "Now wait a minute," protested Sister. "That's all our stuff. What about some of your stuff?" "My stuff," said Papa. "Like what?" "Like your 17 fishing rods," said Brother. "And the zillions of old fishing magazines you have stacked up in the attic," said Sister. "But those are all valuable collectibles," said Papa. Mama groaned. "Look who's groaning," said Papa. "What about those shelves and shelves of old cookbooks you never look at, and those bits of yarn and cloth you're never going to use?" "All right," agreed Mama. "I guess we all have a lot of things we really need. That's just my point. What should we do with all of it?" The Bear family thought for a moment. "Hey," said Brother, "let's have a yard sale and make a fortune." "Yeah, great idea," agreed Sister and Papa. But that was not what Mama had in mind. She had been thinking more and more about all the folks who had so little, especially with Christmas coming on. But what could the Bear family do? Mama already had a plan in mind. First, she had Papa and the cubs go through all their stuff and make 3 piles. In one pile were things like old board games and puzzles, and another, all their forgotten but still good toys and sporting goods, and in another, clothes and furniture, extra cookbooks, and used fishing rods. When the Bears piled everything into the car, there was hardly enough room left for them. "Where are we going?" asked Sister. "First stop," said Mama, "is the old bear's home." The old bear's home was where older bears went to live when they needed help taking care of themselves. Nurses and doctors looked after them and made sure they were in good health. But sometimes the older bears got a little lonely and bored. They liked visitors and things to do. That was part of Mama's plan. When the family arrived at the old bear's home, they handed out their games and puzzles to the older bears and then sat down to play games and do puzzles with them. At first, Brother and Sister were a little shy and embarrassed. The older bears were just so old. But after a while, they got over it. The bears in the home weren't any older than their neighbor, Miss McGriz, and she was okay. Soon they were having a fine time, and so were the older bears. They were all sorry when it came time to leave. Their next stop was the Beartown Young Cubs Hospital. Brother and sister knew about the hospital. Brother had gone there to get his ankle x-ray the time they thought it was broken, and sister had come along to watch. The bears dropped off loads of used toys. They were welcomed. The hospital workers said the toys would be given out at the hospital Christmas party. On their way out, they saw a young bear in a wheelchair with his leg in a big cast. They were glad they had brought the toys. He looked as if he could use some cheering up. Their last stop was the Beartown Bears Who Care store. This was the store that sold things to raise money for needy bears who needed warm clothes and good food. The store was run by bears who wore uniforms and often played in a band in front of the store. The bears lugged all their old clothes and furniture and stuff into the store. On the way, they stopped to sing a few Christmas carols with the band. There was a big iron pot out on the sidewalk for collecting money for the needy. Papa gave sister $1 to put in it. They headed home with warm feelings about what they had done. As they drove along, they passed the lighted window of the Beartown department store. They were beautifully decorated for Christmas. There was window after window of new toys and games, new things for the house, and the very latest thing in fishing poles. But the members of the bear family were so filled with special thoughts about helping others, they hardly noticed the wonderful things in the window, except maybe out of the corners of their eyes.